Since the Bank of Canada announcement on March 6th is the big news, trending on Twitter and trending in a lot of places, I thought it would be important to talk about what is going on as a result of the decisions being made. This is Paul Rodrigo, realestatepodcastshow.com. My goal is to create the most informative and helpful podcast I possibly can. Every time I do this, my goal is to give you information that you need to hear. One of the things you need to hear about a mortgage is that you might be better off without one. This is not the usual type of thing you hear from people about real estate. You'll hear about choosing the best mortgage rates, all of which are bad. The best advice I can give you, especially for those of you listening who've owned your properties for 10, 20 years, 10 plus years mostly, you don't have to stay where you are. You are not a tree. You're not stuck in the ground. You can move from your property now to something that is more affordable, to something that might allow you to free up all that money that's stuck in your home. I'm going to tell you the story of Tom. Tom is a client of mine that called me last year, and he was not in a good place. He has been in a position where he's been falling behind on his mortgage. He was falling behind. Things were starting to get very stressful. He was starting to get his back against the wall. Starting to feel a little bit of fear. And in Tom's case, him and his family have owned the home for quite a few years. And the home value was about $3 million. So the strategy that I put into place for Tom and his family was that being somewhere else, being in a perhaps smaller home, perhaps different area, could be the restart that he needed. And for some of you, this is the same. So the advice that I had for him was that we would sell the $3 million home and we would look for a home in the 1.2 to 1.5 range, just outside the city, just to change things up a little bit. These kinds of stories about mortgage freedom, about getting you out of that cycle, are why I do this. I actually created a program specifically for this called mortgagefreeontario.com. Because if you find out, if you do enough research and you find out how much interest you've paid or will be paying on your mortgage, and I've done this a few times for people, and you can go ahead and do it again. I can send you the link to do it yourself if you don't believe me. But when you are paying a mortgage of even just something like $500,000, which of course is a lot of money, but a lot of people have that much either in the mortgage or owing on the mortgage, you end up paying closer to $800,000 at the end of the period because of interest rates alone. So you're almost paying twice as much for the house. There isn't any benefit to paying a mortgage for a long time. There's a benefit to having a home, paid off for a long time, because of course it'll likely give you that security that you need, that control over the monthly payments that all of us want in our lives. But make no mistake, a mortgage is a death pledge. It absolutely is. I'll keep saying that until someone tries to stop me. And of course, no one can, because it's actually the literal translation of the word mortgage. Mort meaning death. Gage in French meaning pledge. Death pledge. I would rather all of you break that death pledge this year and join the already 250,000 plus Ontarians who do not have a mortgage and who have a very different life. And they simply decided one day that they were going to make a decision. Everybody's different on how they do it. And even if you can just go from where you are now to maybe having half the mortgage costs, that might even be better for you, especially for your enjoyment of life, or just to be able to be present and not be losing sleep over this and not have stress. I know what it's like myself. I've seen what it does to people, and I've also seen what undoing the damage does. And it literally will add years to your life and life to your years. Remember one thing, that before I was in the real estate world, I was in the fitness and health world. For 10 years, I spent one-on-one training people, helping people quit smoking, losing weight. I call it shifting addictions. And one of the things that I've seen is that financial stress can be as damaging as any other thing you can do. As damaging as smoking, as damaging as being overweight, as damaging as being underactive. And that's a big problem for a lot of people. I'm on my way out for my walk as I speak, because I believe in walking the walk and talking the talk. But if it's time for you to do what Tom did and what many others have done, please reach out to me. Let's get a conversation started. You can just email me just to get started, paul@paulandrigo.com. Very simple way to reach me. Or you can go right to paulandrigo.com and get to my links, all the links that I have there. One of the programs might be, the answer for you. I hope all of these things are helpful. Thanks for tuning in, and I'd love to hear back from you as to what your opinions are on today's decision. You can either comment in the link that you saw, or you can actually leave me a voice message if you'd like to share your opinion that way. Thanks for tuning in.